have you been watching this? Politics, Sex, Power, one of the hottest new shows on TV is Scandal. I'm telling you, it is crazy good. It's easy to figure out why.
Okay, in the show, Kerry Washington plays a fast-moving, deal-making fixer in Washington, D.C., and D.C. needs a lot of fixing. While the show is fictitious, there's actually a surprising bit of truth in it. Now, this is kind of a new term for me, crisis manager.
We need her.
Judy Smith joins us now. Kerry Washington's character, good morning, Judy, by the way, based on you. First of all, for people that are kind of intrigued by the idea of a crisis manager, you represented some major high-profile people when things went down, like Monica Lewinsky, like the BP oil spill. So that's what you do.
Yes, yes. What a crisis manager does really is a fancy name for we help people solve problems, big and small.
Yeah.
And in the process, we really try to make sure that their reputation and their brand is intact.
If you haven't seen a clip of the show, we want to show you, and I want to find out how much like her you are, because she's
all right, I better watch.
Take a look at this.
The president.
I know.
Do we have that clip?
We have a photo.
Okay. Well,
Can I ask you,
Who's speaking at the OAS? Who's in town? OAS?
Organization of American States annual conference this week.
Bolivia, Brazil, Haiti, Honduras.
I think it's the Cubans that have been wooing us for months.
Would you like me to get a gun?
You have a gun? I have one too. No guns.
She really rules with an iron fist. You seem quite lovely.
Well, you know, shouldn't let looks fool you.
Oh, so when it comes down to it.
No, I mean, in crisis, really, you have to be very truthful and upfront with people.
Right.
When you're in a bad situation, you need someone to help you get out of it. And I don't think that you can do that by sugarcoating what the consequences are for the crisis.
But I was going to say, as a real crisis manager, and like, let's take the instance of the BP oil spill, you're kind of helping the bad guys.
Well, no,
do you get that?
No, I mean, look, this is what I say about crisis, a few things. One is that anytime there's a crisis is an opportunity. So someone like BP or corporation, they get to look at their policies, their practices, and see how they can change that. Charlie Sheen, for example, you know, gets to look at his behavior, things that he should straighten out, things that he should fix, and he's back, you know, he's coming back on the air,
But you're very stealth. From what
Yes,
I'm hearing.
I am.
People
Yes,
try to find things out about you. You've got no listed phone number, no office anyone knows.
So how do they call you when they're like, I'm in crisis, Judy?
Or make a show based on
Yeah, well, you know, the funny thing is that when people are in crisis, they actually find you. We have an office in Washington, and we do a lot of business in L.A. Luckily,
I bet you do.
You guys don't know about it yet, and we're actually planning on expanding to L.A.
And hopefully we don't need you ever.
Right, none of you won't have to call me, right?
We really like you.
The first thing I said to Judy was, may I have your card?
I know.
How much of it is you sort of playing psychologist and therapist and talking people down from the ledge, or groups down from the ledge?
Yeah, it's part of that. It's a lot of that, because when you think about it, when someone has a crisis, it's like their worst day in their life.
Yes.
And so it's really hard to deal with. And I think the other thing I think that people sometimes forget is the crisis that we see on TV, because they're high profile. But when you think about it, we all make mistakes.
Yeah.
You know, the only difference is it's not on the screen or it's not in the paper.
But a Michael Vick or a Monica Lewinsky, isn't there also a modicum of time? In other words, Michael Vick people are going to hate massively initially.
Right.
And then does that heal over?
Well, yeah, I mean, time does. Here's the thing that I think is very true, and I think that you guys will agree, and so will your viewers. The American public is very forgiving.
They are, absolutely. We talked about that a lot.
Yeah, I mean, if you screw up, as we say, cop to it.
Right.
Say you made a mistake, apologize, and then try to get back on track. I think it's when you try to lie, deceive, and cover up. And we always say that the cover-up is far worse than the crime.
Is there a case that you won't? Do you have a line in the sand that you draw, saying, nope, I can't. That's outside of my moral code?
I do. It's sort of that personal line. It's like obscenity. You sort of know it when you see it.
Yeah.
But dog fighting isn't crossing the line?
Well, look, what Michael Vick did was absolutely horrendous. He admitted time for that.
Well, he didn't admit. He got caught.
Well, he admitted to it, and he wouldn't have been able to, I think, sort of move on from his point in his life unless he did that. You know, the thing about Vick is that what he's been able to do is partner with the Humane Society, and what the Humane Society is doing is saying, look at Vick. Don't make the
Don't be
mistake.
him.
That's exactly right. Don't be him, because if you are him, this is what will happen to you. So he's turning that negative to a positive, which is what crisis can be about.
Judy, by the way,
Yes.
just a little, I'm curious, the first episode has the character based on you kissing the president.
Isn't that
And
something?
He may be a handsome fella, Judy.
I know.
Any truth to what
No,
we're seeing here?
didn't sleep with the president.
Okay.
Good girl. Yes, as I say, Shonda Rhimes has done a great job at taking that high, wire crisis
But do you
world
see
and
some of yourself
dramatizing
in
for
Carrie?
television. Well, yeah, I mean, Carrie is smart.
Yeah.
Olivia Pope is
Beautiful.
smart. She is very strategic. She's fearless. She's compassionate, and she cares about what she does. And I hope I'm all those things as well.
Ever smooch a senator?
No.
We want to let you know that Judy's written a book called Good Self, Bad Self about fixing your own problems, your own mini crises or bigger crises. It's wherever bookstores, wherever books are sold. Judy, this was like the coolest.
Thank you.
This was so
Thank you.
interesting
This was
talking
awesome.
to you.
Thank
The
you.
story
We have
you
so
would
many
tell.
more
Oh, good. Stay tuned. Watch it.
Exactly. Scandal is a great show if you haven't had a chance to check
I'm
it
having a
out.
mini crisis right here, right now.
I know.
Mini meltdown?
Yeah,
we-
yeah.
We're going to talk about it.
Yeah.
We'll talk about
We're
it.
going to leave Mark with
Could
you.
we just have you on retainer?
Yeah.
Yes.
But there you go.
Dial.
You're right. I like that.
One on speed dial.